Good morning. I might sound congested today. Sorry about that. I just did chopped up about 6 or 7 pounds of onions to make onion powder. So, yep. So this is the after, not 100% finished, but I now have 5 on the ground pretty much. I can't really call them raised beds, but makes it a lot easier to upkeep and a lot cleaner. On this side, and here I'll be putting probably potatoes, and the rest will be corn next year. The ground in between the beds, I put a plastic weed barrier. Nothing inside the bed, obviously. I don't want any plastics in my beds. And in between, to stop the weeds from growing, it's just grass clippings. We just bag it and bring it over here to start build up the whole area. I've got all this still to fill. I'm probably gonna fill the grass clippings here too. Try to keep the weeds down for the winter, and then decide in the spring. I doubt that I plant anything here, but who knows? I might put a few grow bags or something, because the sun is here now, but it doesn't stay long. It's like maybe 4 hours of sun in this area, and then the trees just create a lot of shade. So this is the new toy. It's just a high tunnel that's, if I remember well, I think it's 10 by 7 or around that. I already filled bags for next year with soil. And my drying table I put at the back down there, and I've been putting tomatoes there to finish turning red. And I'll be keeping this greenhouse in here. I have another one in the house, so I can transfer my seedlings out here and just stick them on the shelves. I've already put soil in those too, and I'm putting the plastics upside down on them just to make sure nothing grows in it. It should be sterile-ish for growing seedlings. What I'll probably do in the late winter is boil water and soak them with boiled water when I bring them in, just to make sure that it kills any weed seeds that might be in it, because it is just simple garden soil, but it seems to do well for me for starting seedlings. I still have the first box here. I just picked the, not the first actually, the second one. I just picked the last of the butternut squashes that were ready in that one. I didn't want to fill it until that was done. Now I can just weed that and add some soil to it. So I've picked a total of a little over 200 pounds of tomatoes total from the garden. It's all processed. The last batch is actually on the stove right now to make fruit ketchup. And then the tomatoes will be done for this year. The peppers are also done. And the reason why you see this mess down there, I started pulling out the tomatoes. Those are left because in the last week they've developed blight. So I'm just going to dig it all out and put it in plastic garbage bags and send it out to garbage. Unless it dries enough that I can burn it. But I don't want that in my compost, because you don't want to propagate blight. Because compost doesn't really freeze. A lot of it stays moist and warm on the middle and the bottom. So it wouldn't, there's not enough frost to kill the blight, and I don't want to chance it. So I'll be throwing those out. I seem to get it maybe every other year. I get a good case of it, but thankfully always at the very, very end of the season. So I might be throwing out maybe, I don't know, 20 pounds of tomatoes, 30 at most. And I collected enough to get all my stuff done. So I'm good with that. Here is the beets that I sowed, I guess about 4 weeks ago. They're doing pretty good. They're not forming heads yet. Well, beetroot. But they're getting there. They're thickening up. The spinach that I sowed at the same time is doing really well. We've been kind of picking at it, and I use it at this time of year instead of lettuce in sandwiches. I just kind of cut it up in slices and use it as a lettuce, because my lettuce didn't grow back what I sowed. My seeds were old, so I'm not really surprised. I put a few peas about the same time, about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and they're starting to flower. It's just for fun, just to eat straight out of the garden, because obviously I didn't plant enough for anything there. The Swiss chard that's left I also use as lettuce, and I will be pulling it out, I'm assuming maybe tomorrow, since I'm not working tomorrow, and dehydrating it. I'll wash it, blanch it, then put some in the freezer, and I'll dehydrate some of it also for green powder, which you can basically add to just about any meal without really changing the taste of it, but it gives you a whole bunch of vitamins. My loofah's doing good. I just pulled one out before. I'm going to see if I can let it, if it's ripe enough to let it dry to make loofah sponges, because they're still quite green. But they are a good size, but they are a 120-day harvest. We don't have 120 days of hot weather, so it's a trial. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that they dry enough in the greenhouse when I cut them off. Apparently I still have a couple of baby butternut squashes still trying to make it. They probably won't make it to the end of the season, but I'm going to leave them alone. If they do, they do. I still have a little bit of carrots to bring in. I'm just letting them go because I don't need them right now. I'll probably need them in maybe early October. Whenever my meat comes in, I like the canned stew and ready-made meals. So the carrots go into that. What's left of the carrots are going to go into that. Carrots can withstand frost. It doesn't matter if the tops are damaged, but you can also harvest those, and they do taste exactly like parsley if you dry it up. But I had enough parsley this year, and I'm leaving the carrots. Even if they take the frost, it doesn't matter. They're underground. They're good for a while. Just waiting for my beef to come in. These I'll be pulling out probably today also, just because, I mean, cherry tomatoes are just insane. They just go on and on and on and on. I've pretty much had all the use I can out of them. This one didn't get any blight or develop any, so I'll probably keep some of the smaller, the ones that are left that turn red. Actually, you know what? Nope. It looks like we have some blight. So I guess I'll be pulling that out too and just dropping it in the garbage. Let's see. Apparently, see, I thought this was supposed to be mashed potato squash, but now I'm thinking it just might be cantaloupe. I'll have to cut this one, but I don't think they'll have time to do anything anyway. They just started coming out. They took forever because I moved them. This is a bed that we built towards the end of, I believe, July. And I moved some of the plants here that weren't doing well elsewhere. So my little baby watermelons, so those are supposed to stay this small. I think they're called Ruby. They're doing okay. See, the tendrils starting to dry, the one before it, which means that it's probably just about ripe. And I have another one here apparently. It's still all green, so this one's got a little while to go. And another good size one here, but also the tendril's still green, so not ready. We'll leave them go. It's supposed to be nice for the next couple of weeks still. If I see it's gonna freeze, I'm just gonna pull them out, and if they're ready, they're ready. The blackberries that I planted this year, I was not expecting them to get this big this quickly. They are the thornless variety, but I ate one yesterday, and they are producing fruit, which is surprising. I'm sure the animals will get at them before I get a... Oh, actually, yep, more of them are coming up here. So, hopefully oh my goodness, I hadn't noticed. It's full of fruit. There is all kinds. So I guess I'll have to put a net on them, keep the birds away from them, because it'll be worth it to have with, I don't know, ice cream or just vanilla cake. There's enough of them to have a few bites of them anyway. Blueberries are done for the year. This is all weeds I gotta pull. So many weeds. These are volunteer tomatoes that just showed up, probably from the compost. They don't seem to have blight, so they are for Roma tomatoes actually though, so they're not very tasty. They don't have any particular sweetness to them. They're pretty bland, but I'll see. I'll just leave them go for now because I don't need them. I'm pretty much done producing that. My elderberry really grew a lot this year. This one is, I'm guessing, what, about 4 feet tall already. That's for my cough syrup for next year and elderberry flower tea. So that should be interesting. I have so much weeding to do still. That's the thing with working full-time and gardening part-time and flower gardening the other part-time. I seem to run out of part-times to get everything done. But yep, a lot of work ahead. It's supposed to be nice all week. So when I get done working, thank goodness I work very close, as you can tell, I'll be able to get a lot of it done. So I guess that's about it for now. Hopefully I get to talk to you again sometime soon. Bye.